Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night from when you're watching this video. This is John from IT Skills Academy with yet another video. Today, I present to you yet another pharmacy management system. I'll take you through how I created this simple pharmacy management system using PHP and MySQLI. To make it simple, I'll break it into several episodes as follows. In the first episode, I'll basically be introducing you to the system and also show you the basic dashboard that we'll be using for the system. In the second episode, we are going to set up the database. Then in the third episode, we'll be creating the dashboard now. And in the fourth episode, we'll be adding the patients. Fifth, we'll be adding or managing the patients rather. In the sixth episode, we'll be adding and managing suppliers. And then in the sixth and in the seventh episode, we'll be dealing with drugs, that is entering or adding the drugs into the system, and also managing the drugs in terms of editing, in terms of deleting the drugs. We'll also be dealing with the expired drugs in the 8th episode, and in the last but not the least episode number 9, we'll be dealing with the billing system, that is where we'll be managing the transactions and what have you. So hope this is interesting, and without so much ado, let's just get started. Well, this is episode 3 of how to create a pharmacy management system. So in our previous episode, we learned how you can be able to create a database in the PHP MyAdmin. We also understood what is a PHP MyAdmin. And so in this episode, basically what we'll be doing is to create the dashboard that we'll be using for the system. Basically, it's just like an admin dashboard that we'll be creating, just so that we can be able to set everything ready for the system. So first of all, this will be just pure Tailwind, CSS, and HTML. So, and then later we are going to now include the PHP and also now MySQL database, so that now the system can be dynamic. So as I had mentioned in the first episode, is that part of this admin dashboard or template is already created to some extent. So all that we just need to do is just add a few things that I just found that it's important that I include in this specific tutorial. So always remember that I said that you can be able to download this template from the internet, from the website Creative Team, a website where they provide free and premium templates. And currently they are celebrating the 10th year anniversary, where you can get an offer on every template that you decide to buy from them. So that aside, and because I'm not advertising them, it's only that I've used one of their resources, and so it's always good that I give them the shout out. So as you can see, the sidebar is already created. I had mentioned this in the first episode, and so what we just now need to do is to add the patient sections, because as you can see right now there's nothing. The patient is also nothing. I'm also going to record some more of these cards here. So I'm just going to take you through how you can be able to create one, so that if maybe you don't have any knowledge to do with Tailwind CSS, you can also be able to have some basics on how you can be able to go about that. But also remember, in this channel I have several Tailwind CSS tutorials that you can go out and check and understand how you can be able to work with this CSS framework that it's called Tailwind CSS. So to get started, all that I'm going to do, I'm just going to head on to my text editor. In the first episode, I had mentioned that I will be using Visual Studio as the text editor, that is Visual Studio editor. So what I just need to do is just close this, and I'm also going to minimize this a little bit so that we can be able to have a view of everything that I'm doing here. So this code that we are currently viewing here is basically the one that is giving us this specific result. So this is the template that basically I'll be editing with you here, so that you're able to understand that. And because I downloaded it for free on the internet, I have not removed this part here. Yes, so but if you buy it, you can just remove it. Yeah. So for now I'm just going to just leave it there. And so as you can see over here, I've included the sidebar.php. So this is for the purpose of ensuring that the sidebar is consistent, and I don't have to create a sidebar for every page that I'm creating. So as I showed you in the very first episode, is that we have the includes folder from here. If I may just show you, let me just open it. We didn't manage to open it in the previous episode. So the sidebar is here. So basically it includes all the links that we require to navigate the system. So all of that, so all of these code is the one that we are trying to include here. And now you can imagine us repeating all these in every page that we are creating. So it can be quite some work. So just to avoid that, I have sprinted it. So with the one that you're going to download from the Creative Team website, it is going to be part of every page. Like it will be all of these code that you are seeing here will be included here physically, but just to make it simple, you can just use your PHP knowledge and just require it. Just require it. So by the time you say require, and then you put the location where that specific file is saved, then that specific section of code will be included in that part. So all of these will be included over here. So that aside, we can scroll down a little bit. Let me just hide that for now. So you can see here we are having the dashboard. So that is the dashboard, as you can see over there. And so for now, all I just want to do is to just add a few cards over here. So I'll add one here, another one. We're going to have several. We're just going to create one with you, and then we're just going to duplicate it just to try and save time over here. So I'm just going to go direct to that specific part, because we will not be doing a lot of HTML here. So this is it. So as you can see, we are having cards over there, and so that's where we are going to have our card one. So in fact, let me just label it here, so we can call it card one, like that, so that now I'm able to know where the card starts and where it ends. So let me just hide that for a while, for a minute, and then I'm also going to have the card 2, so I'll just be copying this. So that is our card 2 over there. Well, so the first thing that I'm going to do is to create the first div. This is the div that will wrap the whole card, and inside that div I'm also going to have another div. So create yet another div inside that. Inside that I'm also going to include yet another div, so that I have several div. I need at least 5 here. So we're going to have the parent div, that is 1, and then from there we will need 4 more divs, and so I am now also going to include one more, so like that. And so now that should be our structure, and it is inside here that we are now going to have a paragraph. So this is the paragraph that is going to house like this name that we are seeing here. So for example, this is today's patient. Let me see what we should be having there from the original project. So this one should be today's money. So this one will be today's patients. And I'm going to, before I forget, rename these so that it is not patients, but as we've said from the original project, it is money. So that one is okay. So let me go back to collapsing it there so that we can just focus on this. Just below that, we're also going to have a h5. So within h5, we're just going to have a number, let's say 5 for example, and we're also going to require to have the percentage. So we're going to have that within a span. So I'm just going to put percentage maybe 4 5. So like so if we refresh the page right now, it might not make a lot of sense, but at least you can see there is some progress there. So all we just now need to do is to style it so that we have it as such. So let me just go right ahead and include that. So I'm going to go to the very first div here so that I can start styling it from there. So the first thing that I need to do is to include class. So basically what the class will do is, this is where we'll be writing our CSS. So this is how the Tailwind works. Like unlike CSS where you're going to have a separate file where you're going to write your CSS or maybe wrap it within the style tag, here we are going to have every div with the styles, and these styles will be lapped in what we are calling a class. So all the styles that we need will be in this specific class. So starting with, for example, the width, we can say that we want it to be full, and the maximum width that we can get is full. And then we also want padding, so that is padding left and right. We can talk of 3, and also a margin bottom. So margin bottom we can talk of 6. You can see in Tailwind things are very easy. It's like using abbreviations. So long as you understand what they mean, then you're good to go. So that's about it. But we also want these card to be responsive, so to be mobile fast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that on small devices the width of this card should be 1.5. So Tailwind allows you to be able to define the width of a certain object like that. So that will be a half of the specific screen that it will be displayed on. Then we're also going to talk about flex. So this one will just make it to be aligned properly, and in this case we are saying that it should not flex. So flexing is like some sort of a way that will help you to manage an object in terms of alignment and in terms of how it is positioned. I'm also going to talk about the XL, and maybe this one we can say that the margin bottom should be 0, and XL extra large screens the width should be accurate. So we're done with the parent div over there. So the next thing that we're going to do is to go to the next column or div, sorry, and again we are going to style it as I've said. Every div will have a class. So first of all, we are going to have this with the relative. We're going to make it flex. So flexing, I've already talked about it, but in this case we want the content in this div to be in a column. So to be able to achieve that, we're going to talk about flex call. So the items will be aligned in a column layout. We're also going to give it a minimum width of 0, so minimum width of 0, sorry. And we should also talk about the break of words, break of words. And we're also going to define the background color, so we're just going to say BG, and we're going to give it a background color of white. We also wanted to have a small shadow, so I'm just going to talk about shadow, soft, and this one is XL. And we also want it to be rounded a little, so I'm going to talk about rounded, so rounded 2XL. So that is just the size of that roundness, if you may call it so. And we can also talk about BG clipboard. Good. So if we refresh that now, it should now start to make sense a little. As you can see now, we have the card itself having that white background like that. So all that we now need to fix is this text, so that it's not so close to the margin, looks like this. So we just need to fix that by adding a few classes to the remaining divs that we have. So let's first of all continue with the third div here, and with the third div we're just going to give it a class. So first of all, class, sorry, I'm just used to it when it is in HTML where it autocompletes. So for the class here, we're going to make it flex out, and the padding, so this is padding all out, top, bottom, right and left. We're going to give it a 4. And this other div here, we're going to talk about flex, and this one we wanted to flex in a low, so I'm going to talk about flex and low. So this one will be making it to flex in a low all layout. And then I'm also going to talk about MX of 3. Okay, so that's the case, or that is it with that div. We can continue to the next one. Again, we just add a few classes, so it's all about adding classes here. So here we don't want it to flex, and we are going to give it to give this div a width of 2/3. And then if you want to understand more about these classes, you can always go to Tailwind CSS documentation. It has one of the best documentations with practices, so that way you'll be able to understand all these classes in a more better way. So that one, we're going to give it a maximum width of full. That's the maximum it can get, the highest it can get. Then the padding right and left, we give it 3. Then finally we are moving closer to the content. So here we're just going to leave that without any class, but for the paragraph we are going to talk about class. And because here we are going to have a lot of classes, let me just print this like that, so that now we have the class here. So this one, we start with a margin, giving it a margin of 0 bottom. And for the styles here, we're going to talk about sans. The text should be small, and also the font, let me give it a semi-bold, or it is given a semi-bold font. Reading normal, so that just increases the readability. So normal, yeah, and that's about it out there. Then we just now need to head on to the H5. So for the H5, again, talk of class is equals, and what do we give it here? We give it a margin bottom of 0. Then we also give it a font of bold. this is just giving you a taste of Tailwind CSS. Just in case you don't know about it, you can always run, and also when you want to learn more, you can always slash to Tailwind CSS documentation. So we also need to style our at the percentage here, which is within a span. So let me just break these like so that it is a bit clear, and this one should be class is equals, and what do we give it here? We are giving it a text of a small for readability, then and it should be normal, and then for the font weight, we're going to give it bolder, and for the text color, we're going to talk about text, and then the color should be rhyme 500. That's the saturation, and what else does it with that? So, and we're done with that card. So if we refresh that card, then we should get something like that. And well, so we just left with one more thing. So this icon over here is basically just to help us to style that section there. So I'm just going to go below here, let's count 1, 2 divs. So below here we're going to have our icon. So I'm going to create a div that is going to house that, and one more div, and this is where we are going to have that specific icon. So let me check out that icon if I'm not wrong. Let me just try to type it over here. Should be I, give it a class, so is equals just like an SVG or something. Reading none. Let me just type it here quickly, real quick. So let's check out that and see if we are successful. Okay, looks like we don't have anything. Anyway, let's just try to give it a background color. That way it will we'll see if we can be able to fix that. So class is equals, and bg, and for the bg we are going to give it a gradient. So this is how we apply a gradient background. So I'm going to talk about bg gradient to top left, so to TL, and then from, so here we're going to put the first color, which is green 600, to the last color, which should be rhyme 400. Yeah, that should be it. Let me check out that. Okay, yeah, we have it over there. As you can see, we just now need to style it a little bit so that it is visible. So to be able to do that, let me you just go to the main div here, and I'm going to do what? I'm going to give it a class, and let's give it a padding left and right, sorry, of 3. Then text, that one should be right, and basis of 1/3, 1/3. So that's it, but we still need to add a few more classes to add to the inner div here. So let me give it an inline of block just for alignment, and for the width we're going to give it 12, and for the height we are also going to give it a different one, that is 15, and it should be centered, the text. So text is center. We're also going to make it loaded a little, so again loaded, and that should be Raj, and that's about it. So if we check that out now by refreshing that, that's what we got. So we have an issue somewhere. It should look like this. I don't know why it's that small. Let's see, inline block. Oh, sorry, this one should also be 12. There you go. So we have fixed the background, but this one is still hanging somewhere on top there. So let's see what we need to do. Oh yeah, this one should be top. And there you go. Yeah, so if we try to minimize that, and there you go. So all that we now need to do is to duplicate that so that we have several of such. So I'm going to hide that, and I'm going to copy the whole of that, duplicate it down there. This one will be 3, and I'll also duplicate it, and this one will be 4. And let me see, how many do we need here? So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 are enough. Let me refresh now and see what we got, and boom, that's what we got there. And looks like we need to fix something, because this one looks like it's so close to the margin. I don't know why that is the case. So looks like we need to include a specific div here. Let me just have all these lapped within a div. So I'll need to get to the bottom of this one. Let me see. No. Need to go to the very last card. That is below that table. We have got 4 there. Yeah, so we have a certain div that is missing there because this one is closed there. This one. Okay, let me just have another one there. Close this one, that one to be there. So this one I just need to push this one a little. Yep, that's what I need over there. Yeah, my name may not be that organized, the code itself, even if I'm using Prettier here. Yeah. So, but at least I think it's a bit organized in such a way that you can at least understand it. I'm a bit disorganized here. So this one, let me see if I can give it a width of full, then px, that is padding left and right of 6, and py, that is padding bottom and top of again 6, and mx of out. So let me see if we are able to fix that. Yeah, so that is fixed over there, as you can see, and yeah, it's a bit responsive, only that the first one here tends to misbehave. Yeah, we just need to have some padding, some margin around it. Oh, let me see what's up. Yeah, so it is missing this one. Oh, sorry. Just need to grab that and include it here. Oh, no, that it is in fact 0, so it doesn't make any sense. What am I doing? Okay. Margin bottom. This one is also missed. So margin bottom. Yeah, so that should be 8. If that's not 8, I don't know what it is. Yeah, that's it. So the margin bottom, and it breaks it like that, so that now our site looks a bit responsive, and you can also see that the sidebar is working very well over there. Yeah, so the dashboard is okay, so we just need to rename this to the specific names that we need to have there. So as I said, the first one should be patient money. Today's patient, rather that should be today's money. Then the other one should be patients. Then I'm going to rename this to be suppliers. So suppliers, and for the numbers we'll be having that being dynamic, so don't worry about that. And the last one here, we are going to have it as a total, so total sales. So that one being renamed like that, we are good. So we refresh it and good. So that one will be like that. So that one will be like that, and so the numbers we're going to change them dynamically, and also the table is intact down here. We'll be using this table, so we're just going to create one of the tables, and then we are going to reuse it in almost all these scenarios that we have over here. And we're also going to create one form, and then we're going to reuse that form in all the scenarios where we need to have